Hello, this is Tom from RV Life to Live. Today I'm going to work a little bit on our Bauer door locking system right here. The door lock, the deadbolt seems to only come out halfway. And I've had a conversation already with Bauer, and I know what the problem is, and I'm going to try to resolve it. Bauer basically told me, nope, you got to buy a whole new locking system, which is $300+. I found the parts I needed online that total about $8. So I'm gonna void the warranty, take this baby apart. It's not working anyway, and give it a shot. And so I'll show you what I'm doing. So the locking system is pretty simple to remove from the door. There's 4 screws here, which will undo this plate. Behind this is the wire connection for the batteries that are here. So be careful when you pull the plate off. You also have to unplug the wires when you do that. Now, the other plate on this side, obviously no screws on the outside. There's 2 here that will release this whole system, and we can pop off the other side. So once I've removed those 4 screws, you can see here's the wire that comes from the battery pack. It plugs in here. So when you pull this plate off, don't pull straight out, just kind of come out a little bit, get your hands in there and unplug that, so you don't pull the wires out of the plug like I did. The other thing that we're going to do next is remove those 2 screws, take this whole front system off, and then we're going to lay this down flat on a table inside, and we're going to take this plate off. Do not take that plate off until you have this thing laying down flat, because a bunch of little pieces will fall out on you. Okay, so I've removed those 4 screws, and as I mentioned, I have this now laying down flat on a piece of cardboard. I'm going to pull this plate off, and one of the things that I did beforehand when I took this apart to figure out what the issue was I made sure I took a picture of how everything was configured, because there's lots of little moving parts here. So I just wanted to be sure that I understood what it all looked like prior to doing any removal of any parts. The piece we're going to look at today is right underneath here. This is where this 6-volt motor is, and here's the replacement that I bought online. And the one that I have in there currently, one of these gears is stripped, so it's got some missing teeth, and that's what I believe is causing the deadbolt to only retract halfway, because everything else seems to move as it should. So I'm hoping that once I put in that new motor for $8, I save myself close to 400. So let's take this apart. All right, so I've removed all the different levers, and I've unplugged the motor wires here, and I'm going to pull this motor out now by pulling those wires through there, and then I'm going to kind of compare it back to the existing motor, or the new motor, and have to cut these wires off and solder them onto that one. So I've matched up the motors, and what I've done here is with a red Sharpie, made a little red mark on this side, so I know when I solder these in, this is the side I need to put that red wire to, so I don't mess it up. Okay, I have now soldered back on the plug to the new motor. One of the things I'm noticing, though, is this is a D-shaped pin in the original motor. I guess I'd call that a I shape. So that's going to be kind of problematic because it has to slide, this piece has to slide over the tip of this. So I'm going to have to do something to either the shaft or to this piece to make this work. So before I went any further with trying to modify the shaft, I did verify that once I reconnected the battery, punched in the codes, the motor reacted and spun. So I'm hopeful. So now if I could just figure out how to make this D shaft work with that other piece, then maybe I'm good. So my wife bought these diamond grit needle files from Tractor Supply to file down the frets on her ukulele. Came in super handy today. I use this one to now turn that shaft into a D-shaped shaft, an I-shaped shaft, and this piece now has slid down there nicely. So now it's time to start putting this thing back together and see if we have liftoff. Okay, so moment of truth. Reconnected the battery, got all the linkage back in place. I'm going to punch in the code and hit, and it unlocks. Woohoo! Success. So I think for the $8 plus my time, we may be in good shape. Uh-oh. Punching the wrong code. Dead. Dead. You can stop recording. Okay, so I put the plate back on, added the 4 screws, and testing it out again. And we got green light. Green light. So I think we're good. Now I'll put it back on the door and see how it functions over there. All right, so we have the door lock all reassembled on the door. And I'm going to punch my code. I'm not going to show you what my code is. And let's hit unlock. Got a green light. And we are locked. And let's do the code again. Green light. $8. Thank you, Bauer. Appreciate the help. So, just a little lesson. Don't be afraid to tackle something that seems a little out of reach. Take it apart. Figure it out. Till next time.